You're right there.
Yes, because in my draft, this is how it works, and I hate it, but I have the Eagles taking Gabe Carimi. And I fucking hate it because I love Gabe Carimi. I want to have children with Gabe Carimi. He is the perfect player for the Giants. I would kill to have him on the Giants. He looks like Sean O'Hara already. He is the perfect player, but unfortunately, the Giants still pick him, and instead he has to go to the fucking Eagles. So every week when we have to play him, I have to fucking hate him. I have to hate him now. He's gonna be the next John Runyon, and I have to fucking hate him.
So
that's my pick.
If your draft pans out.
If my draft pans out.
Which, admittedly, we're kind of insane, and we have no idea what we're talking about. So, wow, that's loud. I'm sorry for the interruption by the loud motor. That hurt my ears. I hope it hurt yours too.
Not really.
Oh. Well, with the next pick, we have the New Orleans Saints at number 24. New Orleans Saints have some needs, Nick, but mostly they've got them on the offensive line and the defensive line. So pick one and tell me which one they pick for.
I would go more with the offensive line.
Really? You wouldn't go with the defensive line here?
No, because after what happened last year with their running backs and stuff like that, they want to get their running game back on track.
What do you think, Chris? Do you think they go try to get an offensive lineman and get their running game back on track?
No, I have them going defensive line.
Oh, who do you have them going with? Oh, wait, let me guess. Hang on. Phil Taylor.
No. Because remember, I picked him much earlier.
Oh, right.
Plus, he's a nose tackle, so that really wouldn't be too helpful. No, I have them getting Corey Legit.
Really? You have him getting Corey Legit?
Yeah.
That's quite down the list of players, Chris. You realize that, right? Like, in terms of sheer value, Corey's pretty far down there.
Okay, you know his name's not Corey Legout, right?
Yeah, I know.
It's Corey Legit. He's not that bad. I've seen him ranked pretty high, actually. I've seen people rank him as far as top 15 recently. I think he's a good player for this position.
Well, he's
one of those players that's kind of really kind of rising right now as the draft gets closer, and I think he's going to probably get drafted higher than maybe he should go, but I don't think it's a bad spot. I think, early 20s, mid-20s, actually. I don't think it's a bad spot for Legit at all. Muhammad Wilkerson is kind of the other really choice here, but I think Corey Legit is a bit more... Well, he has a cooler name, but I think he's going to be the better player overall.
Well, I've got New Orleans here picking offensive guard Danny Watkins. I think they need help at the guard position, so they pick him.
There you go.
There you go. He's the best player I've got on my list, and Legout is gone already. And yeah, I know his name's Legit, but I call him Legout because there's a U in there. But no, he's Legit's not that far down on the list, but you really think he's going to fall that far to New Orleans?
Yeah. Wasn't it just like 2 seconds ago you were saying this was too early for him?
Shut up. Hey, you know what? Seahawks are next. Fuck you. The Seattle Seahawks are next. Nick, do you think what I think and what I think Chris thinks, and that they go with quarterback, Nick?
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris? Do they go quarterback?
Jake Locker, quarterback.
You got Jake Locker here?
Yep.
Can you guess who I have here?
Ryan Malay.
No, I've got Andy Dalton here.
Dalton as a first rounder.
Yeah, I told you. Not a great draft from me. Mostly because Cam Newton's gone, Jake Locker's already gone on my list, and the next one on my rankings here is the next quarterback is Andy Dalton, and that's pretty much it. They could go as far as maybe getting Ryan Mallet or Mallet. I don't know how to pronounce his name. If they really, really wanted to sink down low and get a value for their pick, Ricky Stanzi's available at this point. But no, I think
I'd see them go Christian Ponder over a lot of those guys. Christian Ponder is a guy who I actually think could be a first-round talent. I don't have him going in my first round, but I think
Christian Ponder could go. But I do have them picking Andy Dalton. He's pretty much the best rated QB I have left right now. So I figured they need QB. They go Dalton out of TCU.
Andy Dalton sounds like the name of a sitcom star.
Doot doot Moving on to Baltimore. I think they pick cornerback Aaron Williams. I'm going to say outright, I think he's a good fit for the Baltimore Ravens. If Jimmy Smith's available at this point, I think they snatch him up. But I think really what they're looking for is cornerback, and Aaron Williams is the guy who's available, the best cornerback available right now, and I think they pick him up, Chris.
I have James Houston, linebacker, going here. Now, I'm not really sure if he could play at 3-4 and as an outside linebacker, but I think they're going to take a chance on trying to convert him here.
Do you think, Nick, that maybe Baltimore goes more offense instead of defense?
I think that they've got to actually start worrying about their defense in the fact that all their star players are aging. Like, how old is Ray Lewis now?
1,002.
Yeah.
So I think defense is a good pick. I don't think linebacker's that bad of a pick. I just think maybe they concern themselves with cornerback, and they sort of turn a blind eye to Ray Lewis's age. Number 27, Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons pick here. I'm not gonna lie here, Chris. I cheated here, so I'll let you pick first, and then you go ahead.
At this point, I kind of just started drafting for best position. I didn't really put much explanation behind it. So I have them picking up Cameron Hayward just as someone to eventually replace John Abraham. Get a good pass rusher.
Well, Adrian Claiborne would still be available. You think maybe they pick him up instead?
They could. I have Claiborne going a little bit later.
Well, I cheated here. I would like to let you know that I have put Von Miller here. He will fall 27th in the draft.
At this point, why even put him in here? How do you justify Kansas City not murdering everyone in their path to pick him?
Because he gets arrested for possession of cocaine the day before the draft. That's why. My original pick was Akeem Ayers here, outside linebacker out of UCLA. Going to Atlanta. I think they need a good OLB, and I think Ayers will fit in nicely at Atlanta. I really don't see Von Miller falling to 27.
There's no fucking way it's happening.
I think even Arizona would pick him up. Buffalo might even get him, to be honest with you. Linebacker Von Miller. I know the Giants would personally murder people to get him. So, however, if Von Miller does fall to 27, I demand, Chris, that you start praying to me as your new NFL god.
Yeah, sure. I will do that, because there is no fucking way Von Miller is falling that far and Kansas City does not slaughter every person on their way to the podium to pick him up.
Oh, man. Nick, Atlanta, they're in your region of the world. What's up with them?
I don't fucking know!
What do they need, Nick? Do you think they need... You think it is a defensive draft for them?
Let me look at their fucking roster here. God.
They've got some needs on defense.
Who the hell are these people on their team? Linebacker looks like a good choice, actually.
Outside linebacker, Akeem Ayers. All right, that's my pick. 28th, New England's second pick, Chris. And at this point, I've got them taking Brooks Reed, defensive end out of Arizona. This is just one of their picks that they're going to play with, and I think Brooks Reed is a good value here. This is a terrible, terrible tragedy for me because we'll talk about it later, though, Chris.
If only Von Miller could have fallen one more spot. No, I have Nate Solder going here. I think New England at this point tries to grab one of the good linemen before they all disappear into the ether of the second round. So I have them grabbing up Solder.
Excellent. What do you think New England does, Nick?
I don't know. Same thing I said the first time around. Who cares what New England does? No matter what they do with their picks, they're going to do something that will end up working incredibly well for them because they're the fucking New England Patriots. They're full of geniuses in their organization.
Oh God. Well, number 28 is New England. Number 29 is Chicago. I know how to count. They have some offensive tackle needs, I think, Chris, and I think maybe you'll agree with me. Well, actually, if New England takes Nate Solder, I don't think you'll agree with me here, but I think they go with Derek Sherrod here. I think they get a decent offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. They'll help their quarterback, not live in the mud at least for like a week, and then the defenses adapt to him, and then he's useless. But I think they pick up Derek Gerard here at the 29 spot.
I can understand that. I actually have them going with Stephen Pia, and looking at it, I don't remember why.
Oh, okay.
Towards the end of the draft, I just started picking people because I really didn't know anymore. I was like trying to get this done. I was like, I actually have real work to do. Stephen Pia, this is the go.
A terrible tragedy here occurs at the 30 slot for me, the New York Jets. Absolutely terrible tragedy here because Brooks Reed gets selected again, and
are you cloned players?
And apparently only half of Brooks Reed gets to be used by New England. The other half is shared by the Jets. A terrible, terrible tragedy for Brooks Reed, who has to be sliced in half for this to happen.
I felt bad because it's like, my last picks aren't really that interesting, but good God, I didn't start cloning people. You're like, wait a minute, guys, here's the real shocker. Von Miller slides again to number 31. It's crazy.
Hang on. Like, what the fuck happened? We'll take him.
Yoink.
Well, if I'm not being stupid and not accidentally pasting in players' names that shouldn't be there, I would actually take Kyle Rudolph, tight end from Notre Dame here, and put in another offensive weapon for Mr. Gay there, or whatever his name is. I forget. Anyway, Chris.
Mr. Gay, you couldn't even remember Mark Sanchez.
Every time I think of Mark Sanchez's name, I think of two Mexicans eating the shit out of their own assholes. Okay.
Oh, that's a lovely image.
Okay, to get off that, I have Adrian Claiborne, defensive end, going here.
Okay, I can see that. I could definitely see that. That wouldn't be too bad. In fact, that would be actually pretty good. They could use some help on the defensive end. This is probably why I took Brooks Reed, but I don't know if he's good enough to be shared among two teams. 31 Pittsburgh, and I know you told me you had a really, really hard time picking something for Pittsburgh and then Green Bay. I took Brandon Harris, cornerback out of Miami. I think that would be decent enough for Pittsburgh. What do you? Because I think really cornerbacks their need. Really, they need to stop dropping the guy with the long hair back. Just having a hard time with names today. I'm so sorry. God, why can't I remember this guy's name? He's like the star player, too. Palomalu, thank you. God. I think they need to stop dropping him back, and I think they need a good cornerback back there. What do you think, Chris?
I have Muhammad Wilkerson falling here.
Okay, that's cool.
Defensive tackle, defensive end. Help shore up their line.
And at the 32 spot for Green Bay, I've got offensive tackle Marcus Cannon from TCU because why not? Good value if he's available.
I have Danny Watkins here. Defensive guard, someone that they could use to help shore up their line, protect quarterback guy.
Aaron Rodgers! You guys are idiots!
The quarterback guy.
He started derping me up with his fucking
Super Bowl
Von Miller bullshit.
Super Bowl MVP? Come on!
Honestly, if Von Miller falls to Pittsburgh, do you think Pittsburgh takes him?
Again, that won't happen. I tell you now, dude. I think Kansas City would employ assassins if he fell that far to make sure that they got that pick.
What if Kansas City is dead set on getting Akeem Ayers?
It never happened. That would never happen.
What if Brooks Reed is drafted twice?
I think Commissioner Goodell's going to be like, what the fuck just happened?
I don't know. I think that would have to be the Minnesota Vikings organization that attempts to draft him at the second time.
They attempt to draft him in the second round.
I would like the thought of like the first shot of him being drafted. It's him on the phone with his family, hugging his mom and stuff. The second time, it's him like just staring at the phone inquisitively as his name scrolls across the screen. He's just shrugging. What? How do I get pick again?
I'm that popular. I am that popular. Oh dear God. So, in conclusion, Chris puts a lot of attention into detail. I'm an idiot, and Nick really doesn't care about the draft. He only cares about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right.
That's pretty much the conclusion here for Turduckin is Tasty. That's the first round of the draft.
I would not try to state that I had a brilliant draft by any means.